Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Dr. Danish. Today I am going to review an important TED talk by Andreas Schleicher titled Use Data to Build Better Schools. The original TED talk was presented in TED Global 2012. The central question of this TED talk is very important for everyone involved in the education. How can we use data and evidence to understand what makes a school system successful and then use knowledge to improve our schools? Andreas Schleicher is well known for his work with OECD program for International Student Assessment or PISA. PISA compares the knowledge skills of students around the world, provide information that can help countries understand the strength weakness their education system. Today I will briefly discuss major ideas of this TED Talk, my understanding of its message, its relevance to teacher educational systems, and finally my personal reflection. One of the first ideas that caught my attention is the statement of that learning is not simply a place, it is an activity. This is very powerful idea. Traditionally, we often associate education with a classroom or school building, teacher, a textbook, and examination. But modern learning is much broader. Students can learn through technology, online sources, practical activities, collaboration, projects, experiment, and real-world experiences. The idea is especially relevant today because technology and artificial intelligence are changing how students access information. A classroom should therefore not simply a place where information is delivered. It should become a place where students think questions, create, collaborate, solve problems, and apply knowledge. The main focus of is PISA. PISA provides international comparison of educational performance. It looks areas such as reading, mathematics, and student ability to apply knowledge to unfamiliar problems. The important point is that data allows countries to look beyond assumptions. Sometimes country may believe that its education system is performing well, but when its results compared internationally, a different picture may appear. This is one of the strengths of data. Data can challenge our assumptions. Instead of simply saying our school system is good, we can ask what evidence do we have? Where do our students performing well? Where are they struggling? Which schools are producing better outcome? What practices are successful? And what we can learn from other education systems. This make education improvement and more evidence-based. Another important message is that international comparison can encourage education improvement. Schleicher explained how countries have changed their position over time and how some education systems have made remarkable progress. The example shows education success is not permanently fixed. A country that performs poorly today can improve significantly in future. This gives us important lesson. Educational performance is not destiny. It can change. If we are willing to study evidence, identify weaknesses, learn from successful systems, and implement effective policies, improvement is possible. For teachers and educational leaders, this means we should not simply accept poor results as unavoidable. We should ask what we can change. One of the most important part of the talk is discussion of equity. A successful education system should not only produce high performing students, it should also provide opportunities for students from different social and economic backgrounds. In other words, educational excellence should not be limited to small group of students. Every student should have meaningful opportunity to succeed. This is very important lesson for school. When we analyze results, we should not only look at the highest achiever. We should also examine students who are struggling. We should ask whether differences in resources, opportunities, teaching quality, or social background are affecting learning outcome. Therefore, quality and equity must go together. Another major lesson from this talk is the importance of teacher. Education system cannot improve simply by challenging building textbooks, examination, or technology. Ultimately, teachers are the heart of learning. A high performance education system tends to place significant importance on teachers, their professional development, their ability to innovate, and their working environment. This is particularly relevant to us as educators. A teacher should not be viewed simply as someone who delivers a syllabus. A modern teacher needs to be facilitator, mentor, problem solver, lifelong learner, technology user, and learning designer. Teachers also need opportunities to learn from one another. Professional development should not be one-time activity. It should be continuous process. There is another important point that I take from this talk. Data is powerful, but data alone cannot improve education. A test score is only an indicator. Behind every number is a student, teacher, a classroom, and a learning environment. Therefore, we should use data to ask better questions rather than simply using it to label school for students. For example, if students perform poorly in mathematics, the important question is not simply why are marks low. The better question are what concept are students struggling with, which teaching strategies are being used, do students have enough opportunities for practice, are teachers receiving appropriate support, can technology and practical activities improve understanding. This transform a reporting tool into an improvement tool. For me, the most practical lesson from this TED talk is that education institutions should develop a culture of evidence-based improvement. Schools and colleges should regularly analyze meaningful information. For example, student attendance, assessment result, dropout rates, skill development, student feedback, teacher professional development, and graduate employment. But outcome data is not enough. We must convert information into action. If attendance is low, we need to understand why. If students are weak in particular subject, we need to identify the learning gap. If teaching method is producing better results, we should study it and share that practice. This creates continuous cycle. Collect data, analyze data, identify problem, take action, and measure improvement. This is where the data become valuable. I also find this talk highly relevant in today's age of artificial intelligence. AI is giving education institutions access to more information than ever before. Teacher can use AI and digital tools to analyze student performance, identify learning gaps, personalize learning activities, and generate educational resources. But we must remember that technology is only a tool. The real goal is to collect more data or use more technology. The real goal is to improve learning outcome and student development. This is where the idea of the author remains relevant. We should use technology and data to make better educational decisions while keeping teacher and student at the center. Personally, I found this TED talk very valuable. It changes the way we think about education improvement. Sometimes we discuss education based on opinions. One person says one method is better. Another person says has a different opinion. But data give us opportunity to move from I think this works. The evidence suggests this works. However, I believe that data should be interpreted carefully. Numbers tells us happening, but do not always tell us why is it happening. For what for that we need teachers, educational leaders, researchers, students, and community. So the best approach is not simply data-driven education. It is better to think about evidence informed education, where data, professional experience, human judgment, the need of learners are considered together. To conclude, use data to build better school is an important TED talk for teachers, education leader, policy maker, or anyone interested in improving education. The major lesson I take from the talk are first, learning is an activity, not simply a place. Second, data can help us understand the strength and weakness of education system. Third, international comparison can reveal what is possible and encourage improvement. Fourth, educational quality must go together with equity. Fifth, teachers are central to educational success and need continuous professional development. And finally, data should not simply be collected, it should be used to take meaningful action. For me, strongest message of this TED talk is simple. If we want to build better schools, we need to stop relying on our assumptions and start learning from evidence. As an educator, we should continuously ask ourselves, what does the data tell us? What can we learn from it? And most importantly, what can we do differently to help people, students learn better? Thank you very much for watching my TED Talk review. I am Dr. Danish. I hope this review encourages all of us to think about how we can use data, technology, evidence to build better education institutions and better opportunities for every learner. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.